Hello, this is a demo that is meant to conclude the file chooser investigations and conclude the proof of concept phase, and before we go to the real implementation and product phase. And yeah, let's look at what we have. I try to go over everything in this video, so it might be a little bit longer and you don't have to watch any of the previous ones. So the file chooser is meant to be used inside dialogues that need a file or a directory or that want to create a file. So I have the three cases here. In one dialog, of course, in a normal dialog you would have all kinds of other things, and one of them would be choose a file, like choose the ISO file for installing a operating system into a new virtual machine. And yeah, let's go through it. Choose a file. First, this is a text input. If you have the file somewhere on your screen, you can copy and paste it here and everything is good. There's also a little bit support for auto-completion here. So if you know you want to go to var libvirt images, then you can see that there's a little bit of help here, and I could save typing some of the characters. And this happens with the right arrow on the keyboard. Maybe we can use the tab for people that know how to use the shell or some editor. And yeah, this is not the main feature here, but I thought it's nice and it was easy enough to do. But if you want to use the full graphical UI approach, there's a button here in your text input that opens the file chooser. And this is supposed to look like a traditional desktop file chooser that people are used to. On the left you have a list of special locations or shortcuts. There's the common recent thing here that gives you a list of the files that you have worked with recently. And I have selected here these two ISO files previously, and that's why they show up here. If the thing that you need is already here, then you just need to click on it and it gets highlighted like this. You get a confirmation here what you have exactly selected, so the full path name. This is, after all, administrative Unix Linux interface where we don't hide the OS level details from people, so we can use path names here like we do here, tell you where it is, and you get some output here, pretty long. This is all the information that the OS can give you about what this is, and you can use it to verify, yeah, this is suitable for my use now. And then you have selected it, or have clicked on it here, and then you can select it here to be used in this text input. And now you would fill out the rest of the dialog, and you would there would be an action button here, and you click that, and your virtual machine will be created, and it will use this file as the CD-ROM content. So that's a basic idea. The file chooser can do more things. For example, when you open it now again, you don't end up in recent, but it browses to this location where you were in the downloads directory, and it has nothing selected. Maybe we could select now the image that you had, but now you are really browsing your file system. There's a lot of stuff here in my downloads directory, and now the filtering is maybe interesting. It by default in this configuration it filters down to ISO files. You can see the Alpine ones here, whatever I have used in the past, but also directories. Of course, if you click on a directory, you go into this directory. This is now has nothing to do with the ISO files, and so there aren't any. And you can see that this is a filtering issue because it says 0 of 3. We could put a button here to clear all the filters, but now if you show all the files, you see whatever is in here, whatever I've downloaded here. And yeah, you can go up by clicking here in the breadcrumb trail. And there are a couple of these shortcuts here. If you click on downloads, you go to this downloads directory directly. This is probably where you have your ISO files, so the file chooser has that prepared for you. There's also a button for the home directory if you want to browse somewhere else. You can see we are showing all the dot files as well. This is something maybe that we can improve and put some filter down here as well to hide or show dot files, hidden files. Anyway, that should be familiar. All is of course the whole computer thing, the whole file system. And yeah, then yeah, there's another one you can type to filter also. So now we are looking for all my Alpine images, and so I just type ALP and it gets filtered down to anything that contains ALP. And now I can also use the cursor keys on my keyboard to navigate here and select one of those. And yeah, that's maybe convenient in some cases. And now there would really, a button would help to clear out the filters, I guess. Yeah, anyway, so now we can select this one as well. And if we go back to recent, it appears here. And the Fedora does not, because the filter is still here, so yeah, some work to do. And you can see they're sorted by most recent use. Actually, they're not sorted alphabetically here. Okay, that's about selecting files. If you don't want to do anything here, you can close the dialog here on the X. The next use case would be to choose a directory. What I'm thinking of now is, for example, if you make a snapshot of a virtual machine, you sometimes have to tell it where to save the file that stores the RAM content, the memory content. That's a case where we don't want the user to really bother having to come up with a file name, but they might have an opinion about in which directory they want to save that file. So this is a variant of this. Shortcuts are a little bit different. Yeah, nothing is selected. You can select, if you now click on something that is a directory. In the previous one, it would not enable the select button because you cannot select directories there, but only files. And here you can also select the directory, or only directories actually, and only directories will be listed here. And the messaging has changed a little bit. And here's some crazy stuff that I have done. But anyway, if you select your location, then it will also appear here, as you could expect. This one now doesn't have any filters here, doesn't make a lot of sense, but you could. The framework supports also filtering the directories, if that would make sense. But there's a new button here for creating directories. So if you if you need a new directory for this for your files, then you can just click this button. Sorry. And another modal dialog pops up, and you can type a name here and create it, and the thing would navigate there, and then you can just select it, and that's your location that you use. So the third one is for creating a file. It's kind of like the save as thing that you know from editors or any kind of application. Cockpit might not have a lot of uses for save as dialog. Maybe we find some, maybe we use that when we want to create a new disk for a virtual machine. Then you can specify the disk image for it, and not sure if you actually do that or if you just go with a location plus a name in that location, because we also need a size. So let's see. Anyway, I have fleshed that out. So now we can create files, and it starts normally. Now you can see that actually here the folders are also in the recent list. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Maybe we should never put folders here, or don't show them now, or something like that. Anyway, so let's now create a new file in the default image location for virtual machines. And this thing now is a text input. We could focus that automatically so that people actually notice that this is a text input. because it's quite invisible if it's not selected. So you have the location here. If you wouldn't have anything selected, it would complain there's nothing selected and you can't click this button here. But as soon as you are in some download button, in some real directory, then you can start typing, and let's call it like this. I know we wanted to go here, so you can change directories and it will not affect this thing here. We could use this now, select this now, so this is our new image that we want to use. And if you open, you're back in the directory, but this doesn't exist yet, so it's not listed here. Yeah, the new directory button is here, might be useful in this case. And here's one more thing. If you now go and you choose something that already exists, the dialog notices that and it turns into the danger mode, and it tells you, okay, this is gonna now replace something that already exists. The same happens when you click on something here in the list. It will just get copied down here, and if you then modify it, it will get non-dangerous again. Yeah, and we select that file. Pretty good. Here in the file chooser, there's something that we have not looked at. This is an extension here that is specific to virtual machines. And of course this is a demo and it's all fake, but this is how it would look or could look. libvirt has storage pools and some of them are interesting, and you might want to select from your pools something. So like if you want to use a block device, for example, for your virtual machines, you can just you could go here and find it here. And why can we? Okay, it's not an ISO file, so but maybe this is a bit cumbersome. We could filter this down to block devices. Maybe that's interesting. We could make an entry here that says block devices. I think we will have lots of ideas. And but you could find your SDA drive, for example, here, and then select it, and now it would use this block device as the new disk image. But maybe you are more organized than that. Then you create storage pools for the devices that you want to use, and you manage them this way. It's not necessary, but maybe that's what you do. So then we would list this pool here, and you can click on it, and again it's nothing in there because this dialog now wants an ISO file, but we can of course switch that off. And then these partitions don't really exist in the real application. That would of course be the real volumes in this pool, and you can select it and it will tell you what it is, but because it doesn't exist, it does not tell you. Here's another one, same thing for LVM, and you could then select it and you get the path name of the block device here. It would immediately forget that it ever was in a pool, and it's a storage volume. It is just another way to select a file in the file system. What does it actually say when we go? I didn't pay attention. When we go here and then get the SDA. Yeah, it tells you it's a block device. Okay. Yeah, anything else? Some fine points maybe. So here in the file choosing dialog, there's no cancel button or close button here. There's just the X. I thought I'd try this out. Kind of makes sense. There will be other versions of this dialog where hitting this button will start the action immediately. The first one will be loading SSH keys into your agent, and then pressing this button would immediately load it into the agent, and then maybe we have a close or cancel button here, and there will be a spinner here and arrow messages and all of these things. They are not in this demo, there are some older demos where you can see that. And yeah, maybe this X button here is sufficient and gives us more space. So another one might be here. When choosing a directory, this would now select this directory that is listed here, but there's nothing really highlighted here. It is, because it's a directory, the dialog has navigated to it and it would show you the content. So in this situation you would select downloads and it would show you the content here. And yeah, so this is different from selecting a file. I hope repeating the thing that is selected down here next to the button makes it clear what's going on. But maybe we want to make that more explicit. So in this case, nothing would be selected, and you would click here on this once, and then it's selected, and you can confirm it here. And if you click on it twice, it would navigate to it, or something like that. Maybe that's even more confusing, because how would people figure out that they can click again on something that has just been selected? Yeah, if anyone has ideas or opinion in this area, very welcome. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks a lot.